Yes, I am the guy that was making people rage quit and getting mad at people rage quitting the whole weekend. Like seriously, the amount of times I saw people rage quit that weekend was unparalleled, bro. I low-key think that could have been in the Guinness Book of World Records or something like that, how many people was leaving matches that beta weekend. It really does feel like Invincible VS came out of nowhere this time, don't it? Because it was in the midst of all of the hype of two other major tag games. Regardless of the noise or how you feel about both tag games, it seemed like Invincible VS was just clearly the underdog. You had 2SKO living off the hype of Arcane and League of Legends period as one of the biggest gaming IPs in history. You also have Marvel Tokon with the MCU and Marvel stuff all backing it as well. And yeah, I can do the late night glazing of Invincible VS, and I can tell you everything you just simply want to hear about the game, but I strongly feel like Invincible VS is a game that goes beyond just being your typical fighting game. This game is not only for Invincible fans, not only for your Evo moment number 37 enthusiasts.
Alright, cool, whatever. I love this intro and all of that, but I'm gonna need you to get on with the review.
I think it's honestly time to finally review. That's gonna happen a couple times in this video. Be ready. Count how many times I do it. Now, I'm not about to spoil the story for y'all, because I want you to play it anyway. I'ma just tell you what makes it so cool and unique, and give you a quick synopsis in less than 60 seconds. Let's get it. Invincible VS Story Mode is written, produced by Helen Lay, and you got the narrative director, Mike Rogers, with Robert Kirkman, the writer of Invincible. Story of Invincible is just pretty much kind of like this multiverse what-if scenario that's pretty much like Omni-Man. He came back to Earth on bullshit with the Viltrumites. If you're asking timeline-wise, this takes place in later episodes of Season 3, so I highly recommend you watch Invincible up to the end of Season 3 at this point. Cool thing about this story mode though, you see all these characters in the roster? Every single one of them got some type of story importance in Invincible VS Story Mode. And the story mode has up to 25 minutes of cinematic cutscenes that you may have seen in this B-roll or in the background. And I ain't gonna lie, it got some better animations in Season 4. I ain't complaining about Season 4 animation, but I'm saying this game definitely giving me Season 1 vibes in a lot of ways, just in video game format. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna spoil it. Arcade mode is so satisfying. It pretty much gives me this old classic Mortal Kombat nostalgic like feeling, but you have mad unlockables as well, such as rewards, new banner art, and as you play, you gain character levels that go into those characters' mastery. Arcade mode has 4 different tiers of battles, aka ladders. The 4 different tiers are Quick, Standard, Guardian, and lastly, Invincible Ladder. It starts with beating 5 opponents to beat it, to almost 12 in an Invincible Ladder. Mastery is found in customization where you can change your banner profile icons and a whole bunch more. Each character can go up to level 23 of Mastery and unlock multiple different colors and variations as they play the game. The customization section also reminds me of the Injustice series and how they had banners and profile unlocks from those games from NRS, which feels very homey to me. You do get something for playing regardless of it, and what's cool about the customization is you see homage to not only the animation of Invincible, but from the comics and other drawn sources and media that came out of the history of Invincible. If you know ball, you'll be happy to see something that you probably like here.
Man, I can't understand any of this.
The tutorial goes through all of the mechanics you need to know from beginner to advanced. In the game, there are 2 control screens, by the way. Motion is motion inputs like Hadouken, and standards like Smash Bros, a direction and a button. In the tutorial, a small gripe that people have had, and I kinda have, is that they don't show the button you need to press based on your current configuration. But to be honest, it's such a small nothing burger issue. Just hit start and read the controls. I feel like if you don't check the controls before you play a fighting game to attempt to get comfortable with whatever you feel like you need, are you even willing to learn the game you pay for at that point? However, I get it. It should be there. My one critique is how on standard, it feels like the game makes doing level 3 so bad. Simply because they want you to hit 3 buttons. If you're playing on a leveless controller, unless you have a specific layout, you have to stretch your hands like you're Peter Parker trying to do a web swing. I personally believe that they should give an option toggle to also input them via motion controls like Street Fighter 6 modern controls, just for better accessibility, or at the end of the day, I'ma just switch to motion inputs. I'll go in going deeper into standard and motion controls later. But if you buy this game, please play the full tutorial. The tutorial, I've done it so many times at this point over all different betas. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes depending on how good you are at understanding what they're asking to do. But if you buy this game, please play the full tutorial and do not be on Twitter complaining there is no option or counterplay to moves, mechanics, or options, because this game provides on the surface all of the different ways to deal with things you're not paying attention to because you want to skip out the freaking tutorial. An example, the open beta, people were finding combos with active tag and they were calling them TODs. No, that's not really the case in this game, and so many people didn't know you can simply just break out of active tag combos, which was in the tutorial multiple times.
Just wait for him to glaze me. That's the part that matters.
Invincible VS is a 3v3 tag fighter where you control 3 characters at a time. If you ask me, the feel is that in reality it's very unique, but it does remind me of a cross of Killer Instinct and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in many ways. Your combos can be freeform with this as long as you can cancel normals and specials in ascending order from light, medium, heavy. That is usually called the Magic series. You can risk going for long combos with active tag mechanics, and this is where the RPS of Killer Instinct comes into play, with breaking, preventing people's tags, and also messing the opponent up on incoming with either delaying or breaking it all together. I want to tell you and reiterate, please do the tutorial. The tutorial will teach you everything you need to know, and you will pretty much grasp it after the first hour of playing it. But the game does go way deeper than just that. I strongly think this is one of the best tag games of all time because it does take all of the best elements from various different games from its predecessors. If you're one of those people that do not like tag breakers in your combos, you might be like, this is too much for me. And I don't think everybody's gonna love Invincible VS, like with every other fighting game currently out on the market, or periods. Everybody got different takes, different folks for different strokes. But I think what's important is that we have a dev team behind us that is experienced in making fighting games, been around for 20 plus years, a lot of them, and they're committed to constantly updating and improving this game. Plus they're a startup studio, so they have more room to work on Invincible VS than many other AAA companies. So I'm happy with it. It's very fun. Invincible VS on PC right now has been a beautiful experience so far. The game on my rig is pretty optimized with a GTX 4060 Ti and over 64GB of RAM, and my processor I'm currently running is an Intel i7-14700F. The cool thing about the PC experience, you can make the game run at an auto benchmark for your specific build, and you can easily adjust it accordingly. I'm going to throw up a side-by-side comparison for what the game tells me to run versus me putting the settings on pretty much max. The game is a tad bit a little slower, but you can still tell it still keeps it smooth on majority max settings for me. In fighting games, for me personally, I care about my frames and the game being responsive and smooth than the actual looks at a point. So I usually run a lower preset to normal for the best experience across the board and for the other players, for me. I know that's not for everyone else, but I'm just speaking from experience. I will play a game at low as long as I ain't got to be the one messing up games for people online. Accessibility is really strong in this one. However, I don't know if these features are what people with disabilities are looking for, so essentially I'm going to speedrun them all in case you want to know what Invincible VS does have to offer. It has spatial audio with combat callouts, pattern HUD with player identifiers, photosensitivity and blood and gore warning, and please take notes to all violent video game developers and people who make video games. Please add a blood and gore mode. In Invincible VS, they do have a creator mode toggle where I don't personally care if your game is super violent. I play anything. But for YouTube and so many other platforms, and not to get hit with a sensitivity warning, it is important to have these things. Creator mode lets you tone down the blood almost to the T. You don't see characters die when they get killed, but you will get some blood splats on the bodies and arms and limbs, making it really not that bad compared to what it could be sometimes where you just see explosions of blood shatter and meat fly everywhere. Like I said, I think this is important for content purposes, but more importantly for people that just ain't to blood and gore. Invincible does have a lot of blood and gore moments that are shocking, but that's not why I'm into Invincible. I'm more so into the story of it altogether as well. All in all, I do think Invincible VS is a game you should give a try. I do believe this is one of the best fighting games to come out this year, from passionate people who made games such as Killer Instinct 2013 and have so many years in the industry. If you want to learn more deeper about the game combats, mechanics, and the philosophy behind designing them, I have a video right here for you. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace. I'm about to go bully Battle Beast players, okay? That's the goal. I'm about to go piss them off. See y'all later. I'm out.